Susu, say hi. Say hi.
The best thing nowadays is actually the speed in which you can just share with everyone else around the whole world new things, tricks, tips that you discover along the way in your hobby. So today I want to share with you two new things, kind of that we might actually already know, but we don't implement them when we buy a new plant. So I recently started doing them with every new plant that I buy, and I feel more at peace. So let's get started. Our victim today, and I say victim because I was really late with this plant. This actually is the plant that helped me discover this. This Monstera Peru. You can see that she has some yellowing. What could the reason be? First things first, we always check for pests. We check for the type of soil, and we think that we check alright. The next time that you buy a plant, what I want you to do is just take your finger and scratch the top inch of the soil in your pot. Why would I actually recommend to scratch an inch of the soil around the plant? Well, sometimes plant shops want to do a little trick with the price. You know, the bigger the pot, the bigger the price. What do we say when a plant is root bound that it needs repotting? Well, some clever plant shops just take the pot as it is without removing the pot and insert it in a new pot. So we have a double pot in here. I guess that this is the reason why this plant has been having such a hard time. You can see that it already lost so many leaves, and I think that this is the reason why. Actually, I am sure that this is the reason why. And I am so sorry about this plant because I got so busy and overwhelmed with other things that I just forgot to just check. I mean, most of the times we say that when we buy a new plant, we need to at least let it sit in the new space for 1 week per se, and then just repot it and do everything. Well, I've let it sit for at least 1 month plus. And then my nephew behind, a mini pincher, is snoring. Pierce! So this is the first thing, the one of the two things that I want you to do with every new plant pot that you get, that you adopt. Just scratch around the plant without destroying any roots or something, and check if there is a smaller pot inside that is kind of jailing all the roots of the plant. This plant will have no way to just spread its roots. It will have to go at the drainage holes of the smaller pot or from above, and this is not good. This makes the plant struggle too much. Seeing just this one thing, we can say that the plant needs immediately a repot, or else its situation will only get worse and worse. Let's go ahead and repot this plant, and let me tell you about the second trick that I discovered that is going to change your life. The second trick that might actually be the most important of all the tricks that I've ever discovered in this plant journey is actually that the first watering of a new plant should always be a bottom watering. Now you might actually be wondering, why is that? First of all, check this hell thing out. Look at these roots. I say that the first watering of a new plant should always be a bottom watering, and actually a bottom watering to the top of the pot. So if you have a container full of water, I want the water to be here without actually getting all the soil out, but I want it to be at the top. I tend to bottom water my plants mostly for video and time purposes, and I actually only watered this plant once. Here we are, and it was a bottom water. And when I put the plant to the glass container with the full water to just water it for the video, I discovered that the whole soil is full of centipedes. You know, these little worm-like things with 1,040 legs that they have, and if these things attack you, well, you might get a really bad reaction, and it hurts a lot. This plant had a full family of them, and it still has. I just found one. I will try to capture it as a video so I can show you, but that is where this new habit / trick / tip comes from. So if the soil has something inside, when you just put it underwater, kind of underwater, during the bottom watering, well, then all these things can't actually breathe that well, so they will try and come out of the pot. So you will see one thing or two inside the glass container. And thus, you know, if you can delay the repotting, if it doesn't have this problem here, you know if you can delay the repotting or just go ahead and repot it at once. As I can see, we were kind of lucky. This little pot is the one that we mostly use at aquarium plants. This one has kind of drainage, should I say, holes at the sides as well, but still I have to remove all this dirt because of these things that are walking inside here. And of course I am not going to reuse this soil because I am afraid that they will have a lot of eggs in here. Thus, this is going nowhere. The good thing is that I can't really notice root rot. I mean, the roots seem kind of healthy, but I don't really want to touch them because of the crawling things. That is what happens when plant shops just get too bored to provide value. Using scissors, I am going to try to carefully cut this tiny pot, if I can. So I am just trying to squeeze in between so we can remove this thing. And right now, 2000 years later, we have this beautiful root ball that I am going to take outside, clean it, so we can get rid of all the remaining stuff on the roots, have a clean root ball, and then we are ready to pot it up. Okay, so now I have my root ball cleaned. I have the soil mix here that I am going to use. It has some bark inside, some perlite, some charcoal coal, you could say, and then the regular soil mix that I use. So let's go ahead and just put a little bit of soil inside, insert the plant, and then fill it up. This should do. mix here is really fluffy. It will just go down after a watering or two, but for now I think that it is okay. And I want a stick for here. Give me a minute. Okay, let's see. Carefully, carefully, carefully. Do not kill any roots. Weird art creations with Naya. Oh, it stands well. Okay, and if you are kind of wondering what is going on in here, here we had a root. Let me unwrap this thing. We have a root that I was thinking of cutting and propagating, so I just put some cling wrap with some sphagnum moss, a little mist inside with water, and then we wait for the root to grow. You know, with plants at first we all start researching and studying and everything, then eventually it becomes a second nature. You will learn to read your plants, you will be able to understand what's going on by the way that they are behaving. So this one is going to live. I am positive. I am not going to lose this plant, so stay tuned to see how this is going to go. And just remember, a quick recap: when you buy new plants, just scratch the top inch of the soil, see if they did any bad works there, and then the first watering when you buy a plant should be a bottom watering, so you can check if there is something alive in the soil mix that the plant has. If it is alive, then it will get out because it will feel like it's drowning, and then you will be able to spot it. And this will help you decide if you need to repot it, if it needs an emergency repot, if you can wait for a while, or maybe if it is just okay to stay in this soil as long as it provides the nutrients that it needs for the plant.